Welcome to episode 10 of the New Breed Podcast. Yes, the New Breed Podcast, where a guy and his son talk about the Browns. Yeah, we're not like writers or anybody important. We just like the Browns. We're fans and we want to talk about it. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm an old school Browns fan, 80s fan, all the way through. Well, kind of not all the way through. I had that gap when I really didn't have a team to root for because the Browns left. But anyway, I'm an old school Browns fan. I'm Mike Mitchell. I am the dog pound personified. Roof. And this is my co-host and also my son.
I'm Grady Mitchell, the son of this man right here. I'm a new breed of Browns fan. You know, I started liking the Browns like 2017, like
recent.
Yeah, recent. That's why I'm a new breed. I'm a new breed, man.
That's the New Breed Podcast, right?
Yeah,
we're trying to bring it into the current age. So, how have you been, Grady, as a Browns fan?
I'm doing fantastic.
I think it's a good feeling to be in an off season where we're not freaking out about who our coach is and who our starting quarterback is. So, and coming off a playoff win.
Yeah,
well, I think it's a good place to be.
Well, not coming off of a playoff win.
Well, we won a playoff game.
We made it to the playoffs.
Lost in the divisional round. So yeah, we had a season last year when we won a playoff game. That's impressive. Yeah, considering the track record of the past 5 years.
After going 6-10, and then
how about 1-31? Do you remember those days?
31.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bad. Right before you became a fan, yeah. There's a lot of bad.
No. Like as soon as I became a fan.
No, I think you becoming a fan engaged them.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield was drafted as our number one draft pick, and everything changed.
Well, no, I was like, oh yeah, cool. The Browns. I'll watch a little bit of this, and then like Baker Mayfield got drafted, and then it just all went up from there.
I think you're right.
Just went up.
You could be the key to the Browns' success.
The luck charm.
The good luck charm. Should we get started with recent headlines?
Yeah.
Recent headlines. We always love doing that during the sound bite that comes in and announces recent headlines to do the TV news thing where we act like we're talking to each other. But anyway, starting off, one of the key pieces of the week from BrownsNation.com, Rocco Nuochi. I think that's how you say the name. I apologize explicitly if I butchered that. His report was Kyle Rudolph would love to play for Kevin Stefanski. After a decade in the purple and gold, Rudolph's time in Minneapolis is done. One connection he made during his decade in Minnesota was Kevin Stefanski. The two spent the 2011 through the 2019 seasons together with the Vikings. I would have to say that if the Browns are moving on from David Njoku for some reason, Kyle Rudolph's getting a phone call.
Nah.
You don't think?
I don't think so. I think he's got a little age on him. I mean, no doubt he's still a great tight end, but we already have Austin Hooper. Honestly, he's still going to be the number one, no matter even if we sign him.
True.
But you'll still see those two tight end, even three tight end sets.
Right.
The young guy, Harrison Bryant, Steven Carlson. We'll talk about him in this little thing later.
All right.
But yeah, well, we'll just see what happens in free agency. I'd like to see David Njoku stay.
I would.
Yeah, he really improved this year.
David Njoku, I saw some PFF grades. He was 7th ranked tight end in blocking. Did you notice that? And I think he was 17th or 18th overall tight end. And that's you go back and think about the season, and Njoku did not appear to be that
blocking tight end.
Well, I mean, he got better at blocking. Coming into this season, he was not a good blocking tight end. So the fact that he ranked 7th in blocking is impressive. But he really worked on his game, and he got better. If you go back and watch he was very quiet. Not a ton of catches, not a ton of yards, but when he did, he made tons of improvement. Another stat I saw was that on his targets, he had one drop out of, I think, 20 something targets, and Baker's passer rating when targeting him was over 110.
That's impressive.
That was pretty impressive.
That's really good. Honestly, I really liked how David Njoku stepped up this year. I mean, although Austin Hooper and Harrison Bryant were battling him for like a starting job, but he showed up. He really did.
I love how we turned an article about Kyle Rudolph into the David Njoku article. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What do you got for this next one from the Stefanski press conference?
Kevin Stefanski said, "I have to be a better coach despite winning Coach of the Year honor," by Jeff Risden on BrownsWire.USA today. As we sit here in March, my focus and our focus as a staff and as a team is we have to get better, Stefanski said Tuesday via Zoom. We have to improve and as coaches really pull this thing apart and find ways to improve schematically. We have to evolve. He then pointed directly at the man in the mirror. I have to be a better coach next year for this team, and that's my goal. We're working really hard to find different ways for each of us to get better. That's really the charge of what we've been working on the last few weeks. As we move forward in this offseason, we'll see how it shakes out and see what it looks like. But in the meantime, the focus is we definitely have to get better. Also noted was that Grant Delpit was back in training and looking good. And Grady Williams is back.
Grady is back.
And OBJ is progressing nicely with his ACL.
Yep.
I saw him doing some bench presses.
I noticed that on his Instagram.
Yeah. He was. I mean, if there's any dude that's gonna heal that fast, it's gonna be Odell.
I can see it.
He's crazy. He heals very fast.
I think the Greedy story is in there as well. The nerve issue in the shoulder. There's another great article on him that was done, which I thought was really good. A Mary Kay Cabot article. If you need to go find it on Cleveland.com. He really struggled with a lot going through that shoulder injury because it just never got better. The nerve injury itself, it seems to be gone. I noticed a lot of his most recent training stuff, he's actually holding things which he couldn't do before, like holding up. And I think that, I mean, that's just, he's in a good spot, but is that going to come back? Is he going to take a hit and then boom, it comes back? And Grant Delpit said that he was training and looking good. I think that's a very positive. Yeah. Hopefully he's young enough that Achilles injury does not hurt him too bad, because that could be really, really degrading to your abilities.
Yeah.
Overall, a great article. Check show notes because there's a lot more depth to it than just what we talked about. Yeah. But yeah, you're looking at the Coach of the Year for a reason, folks, and that a lot of those quotes that we picked out of there.
He won Coach of the Year, and yet he's still saying he has to be a better coach.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't go out there and go to the Super Bowl,
I do my best TO and be like, that's my coach. That's my coach, man.
Brian, you with all your chains and rings, and pop collar with the sunglasses.
I don't have a pop collar. I got a sweatshirt on. Anyway.
Yeah, you need sunglasses. It's my quarterback.
It's my quarterback. Next article up. The Greater Cleveland Sports Commission announced their award winners for the 21st Greater Cleveland Area Sports Awards, giving some love to other Cleveland area sports teams. Shane Bieber, the MLB American League Cy Young Award winner, and won this year's Professional Athlete Award. It was presented to him by Andre Knott, Cleveland Indians and Sports Time Ohio dugout reporter, bringing the two together for a special moment. You can check that out at the link in the show notes. Kevin Love, Cleveland Cavaliers power forward, received the Humanitarian Award presented by Angel Gray of Fox Sports Ohio Cavs sideline reporter. who was there for many of Love's contributions to the community. In addition to sharing his experiences with mental health challenges and creating the Kevin Love Fund, Love provided financial support to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse staff directly affected by the loss of work during the pandemic and personally thanked local healthcare workers. The culmination of the night was Baker Mayfield's speech. He accepted the 2020 Best Moment in Cleveland Sports presented by Jack Entertainment, which was awarded to the Cleveland Browns for their 2020 NFL season and the NFL playoff wild card victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would have to say, if you did not vote for 2020 Best Moment in Cleveland Sports as the wild card win in Pittsburgh, you should have your credentials taken away and never return to Cleveland again. Just my personal opinion.
And never be a Cleveland fan again. Go find somebody else. Go to New York. Do something.
I hear they're looking for
Maybe.
people to work in Baltimore, but
Hey, then do that. Go do that. We
Just
don't
saying.
want you here.
Purple Browns are better than not voting for that as the moment of the year.
Hey, I'm not trying to throw shade, but he's not wrong.
Oh, we have fun over here. What's next up, Grady?
Maya Chaka, right?
Sure.
Becomes first black woman to be named a NFL official by Jarrett Bell at USA Today. Maya Chaka has become the first black female official in NFL history, as the league announced Friday that she has been added to the roster of officials for the 2021 season. Chaka, who has officiated for several years on the college level, including stints in the Pac-12 Conference and Conference USA, has participated in the NFL's officiating development program since 2014.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We had the first female official, what was that?
A while back.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, I think.
And then the first female official to be in a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
And now the first black female to be an official. That's wonderful. That's great.
I think we're progressing nicely.
Yeah.
Also to note,
Getting a lot more diverse in this league.
absolutely. Also to
Great.
note that our very own Callie Brownson spoke at the recent Women in Football conference, and she really appears to be poising herself for either a coaching job, a major coaching job, or a GM job. And I think I would love to see her work her way through the system and become a GM. I think she could be great at that, and I think she's somebody to keep an eye on because she's gonna move. She's ready to go.
Didn't she sub in a tight ends coach?
She subbed in a tight ends
Defensive
coach and
line coach, I think defensive
was
line.
it D-line?
I'm pretty sure it was D-line.
Thought it was another offensive position.
No.
Tight ends and running backs? No. Anyway, I'll have to go back and look that up.
But she showed up this year. She
Yeah,
was
she
great.
just jumped in as
great
chief
at-
of staff. She just jumped in and coached up 2 different position groups.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah, like I got this. Don't worry.
Pretty sure we won both of those games as well.
Pretty sure we did. Jags and Washington football team.
Washington.
I think so.
I think that was the D-line one.
That could have been.
Anyway.
Next up, the Browns placed a tender offer on 2 exclusive rights free agents. This comes from Andrew Gribble at clevelandbrowns.com. Tight end Steven Carlson and defensive end Porter Gustin were key contributors throughout the 2020 season. It was later reported, I believe the next day, that Tavier Thomas would not receive a tender and therefore gets to become a free agent. Tavier Thomas actually led the team in special teams tackles over the past 2 seasons. Could be a rough loss on special teams, but I think they're trying to make room for somebody that can also
But once we
do
draft Ben Mason, that will not be a problem.
Ben Mason gets drafted in the 7th round, and now you have somebody that's going to actually murder people on special teams.
I'd love to see Ben Mason and Porter Gustin.
on special teams.
That little matchup, like put one on the left side, put one on the right side.
Meet in the middle.
Sandwich.
So I know we didn't talk about this. It's not in the rest of the show anywhere, but there was a highlight package put together. I think it came from clevelandbrowns.com, so you might have to check it out. Myles Garrett's greatest plays of the year. One of those was a strip of Joe Burrow, and I believe it was it was the home game. I think it was the week 2 home game against the Bengals. And the highlight was all about Myles Garrett, and he comes swimming by. He does this nice, nasty move to the tackle. As he's going by, Burrow steps forward, and Myles swats the ball away. But as he swats the ball away, if you continue to watch the highlight clip, Porter Gustin destroys Joe Burrow. I mean, literally hit him like he stole his money.
Then
and I think it was Jackson. It was Jackson that picked up 91. It was Jackson that picked up the fumble on the goal line for to recover it on the 1 yard line. I'm pretty sure it was 91. I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It was just cool.
It was amazing.
Cool. I'm glad Porter Gustin. Not sure I understand the Steven Carlson, other than he's cheap and can play some key roles when needed.
We had
great
him
backup.
Special teams.
And he's on special teams. Great backup.
He's great on special teams. 2 onside recoveries.
That's true.
Get in, boys.
That's true. I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
The one where it went through his legs and it did the splits a little.
Oh yeah. And he almost lost it.
Lost it, but thank God he's a great man
with great hands.
Yeah.
All right. Next article. What do you got, Grady, for this one? This is a good one.
Cleveland Browns pick a player, adding one free agent from each NFC East team by Nick Swanson at dogpounddaily.com. All right, so each of the NFC East teams, of course, Washington, New York, Philadelphia, and Dallas. So the Washington football team, he had us picking from their team Ronald Darby, cornerback. I think that's a smart.
I would take it.
The New York Giants taking Dalvin Tomlinson, D tackle. It's okay, depth. Yeah, D tackle. Philadelphia, Jalen Mills, safety. Nice, young safety. It's nice. Dallas Cowboys, Chidobe Awuzie, my bad.
Chidobe
Awuzie, cornerback.
So you pick up 2 corners.
2 corners,
2 decent corners, serviceable corners, a D tackle and a safety. I thought it was a great article. It's a neat spin. Like, hey, here's the NFC East. You can pick one player from each team. Who would you take in free agency? And I just thought those were really neat. I thought it was a really neat piece. Nice pieces.
I thought it was really
nice pieces. I thought it was good. This article came in and nearly brought me to tears.
Let you talk about this.
BrownsNation.com, a story by Ben Donahue, and there's a link in the show notes, so if you need to find it to go read it, it's incredible. There's so much more depth to this. There's a lot of things I didn't remember. Maybe I didn't know it, or I didn't remember it about Bernie Kosar. The article is titled The Legend of Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar, parentheses, complete story. Nobody wanted to be a Cleveland Brown more than Bernie Kosar. After his redshirt sophomore season of college football and with a national title already under his belt, Kosar graduated from Miami a year early in the spring of 1985, and he entered the NFL supplemental draft. Kosar had an elite football IQ and was most often able to decipher a defense quicker than his coaches. In the late 1980s, Kosar was one of the best quarterbacks in football. Bernie Kosar was an overachiever who made the most of his relatively limited athletic ability and his awkward-looking sidearm throwing motion. This article was really in-depth, and it was really good. I encourage you to go check it out. Bernie Kosar was one of the greats for me as far as heroes, if you will. I always looked up to Bernie Kosar. I have my niece who's from Northeast Ohio, as many times in her childhood, in her infancy, would say things like, "Help me, Bernie Kosar." what would Bernie Kosar do? She would say that all the time. This was just part of our life, and this person who I've got to meet a couple of times is not only incredible, but a larger than life person and a larger than life huge heart. And just go check the article out. I think it was really good and it was really well done.
Yeah.
You should go read it. So that way, you know, you can read up on your Bernie Kosar history.
So I know at least something about
the old Browns.
The old Browns.
Right? Anything about the old Browns. That does it for our recent headlines. So we take our break. And we want to talk about something. We've been hinting at this for a while, and basically we finally found it. And so last year, during spring and the spring camp, or no, it was fall camp, as they got back together, they weren't allowing people to go to camp and watch.
So they had it online.
Everything was on clevelandbrowns.com's YouTube channel. Grady and I sat through a lot of quarantine minutes watching Browns training camp. We had nothing else to do. Nothing was open. We couldn't go anywhere. So why not watch Browns training camp? So we basically started keeping track in these notebooks of who to look for. And it was our idea a couple episodes ago to say, hey, look, let's go back and let's write down who we want to keep an eye on, who's popping out. In other words, we didn't really, some of these we didn't even really know, but it was who's popping out, who's standing out. And we just thought it'd be cool to go back and see who it was that we were looking at and what they were doing and how it turned out basically down the stretch. Do you want to go first?
I will go first.
You go first. Take you and your little notebook and
my
talk about what you talked about.
Tiny little notebook. Mine's not organized like his is. So one of my players is Taki. He played a lot of snaps this year. Did pretty good production. Pick sixes. Taiwan Taylor. He really didn't play.
That one didn't turn out so well.
Yeah, that was just kind of a bust. Andy Yanovich, I mean, he really didn't do anything this year. Just blocked.
He blocked.
Well,
a lot.
But that's why we got one of my other ones. Our new O-line and Austin Hooper. That ended up being very successful since we were the number one ranked.
I loved it that you put our new O-line and then it became the best offensive line in football.
And Austin Hooper.
I didn't even have Austin Hooper on my list.
Another one was Jacob Phillips.
Yeah.
He looked very impressive.
He was flashing all over the place.
Got some playing time this year. Sheldon Richardson. I mean, what else needs to be said? Sheldon Richardson.
That was an easy. That was low hanging fruit right there.
Donovan Peoples-Jones. Of course, our Michigan boy in our heart, returning punts. Yeah, doing great things out there. Sunday.
I had him on my list too because in practices he was looking really good.
Nothing else needs to be said.
Nothing else needs to be said.
We don't.
We shall never say that name again.
No, especially since he's not signing back.
I hope not.
He's not. Jordan Elliott.
Speak that into existence.
Jordan Elliott. He got some playing time, and I think he did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just put all rookies. You know, I already said Phillips, DPJ, Elliott. You know, all those guys. But yeah, all of our rookies played this year. Can't think of all of them. Jedrick Wills, Harrison Bryant, who I also have on my list, I think.
Nick Harris.
Nick Harris.
He made my list.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jordan Elliott.
You already said those, but yeah.
Grant Delpit got hurt.
Grant Delpit got hurt. That was bad.
Yeah, but yeah,
Before we ever really had a chance to write him on a list, Grant Delpit got hurt.
yeah. I think he got hurt the second day and just
Something like that. It
never
was
came
early.
back.
It was early.
My next one is Elijah Benton. I'm assuming that's who that is.
Right? That was a good one.
But yeah, he kind of just showed up, but
He was a name that made it back to reserves future list. So he's on scout team already.
yeah, but he looked good in training
It's a scout
camp.
team.
But
Practice squad.
he looked good in training camp, but didn't get any playing time.
Got some.
But some.
I think he was in that last Steelers game, regular season game.
Well, we
I
didn't
think.
have anybody there.
Yeah, we didn't.
So,
have
Eli Anku.
I wrote down Eli Anku too, and he didn't even play the season with us. He was somewhere else.
Yeah,
I don't remember where he went, but
or something like that.
I don't think it was the Steelers. I want to say it was like the Jaguars or something.
But he did not even play with us. But he was pretty good. I know you're gonna hate this one, but Cotterell Hodge. He didn't even play, but I'm pretty sure he caught every pass that was targeted to him.
Oh, he does that a lot, but then he doesn't get targeted a lot either.
Yeah,
because he's not open most of the time. But
yeah, because
he got hurt, so then he disappeared.
So that's why DPJ is
Totally left the door open for DPJ.
great. And then my last one, Cover Johnson. What else needs to be said? I mean, he really didn't show up as much as we thought he would, but I guess that's a good thing. He did good at the Jaguars.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, but that's him in the Jaguars jersey.
That's been passed, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he obviously picking him up in free agency last year. Yeah, he did well. Right? Yeah, well.
Not too bad. As he said, my list is a little bit different. I broke it down into offense and defensive categories.
I mean, ours were mostly the same.
But I started at one point, kind of after they actually started practicing. I started making notes on explosive plays in practice. Like, are they making plays? If they did, I'd put a highlight next to them. Honestly enough, what was weird was offensively, Taywan Taylor made plays. Had at least one, well, at least two, because I had to write his name down first because he showed up. And then a mark. Harrison Bryant showed up. Nick Harris. Now, J.C. Treader was not in camp because he was hurt.
Yeah,
and so Nick Harris pretty much took all the and so Nick Harris pretty much took all the snaps in camp, and so that's why he was easy to see. It was easy to see him working, improving, and getting better. I had Andy Janovich on there, who I had a couple of stars. Interestingly enough, at the start of camp, I made a note to watch the right guard battle that was happening. We had Wyatt Teller coming back, but then we also signed Leary. Fred Leary?
Maybe.
I can't remember his first name. He was a free agent signing who was basically trying to take Teller's job. Now, I don't know if that's going to be part of what made Wyatt Teller the best guard in football this past year, but something lit a fire under his enough that he went out and killed an alligator this past week. But anyway, you'll get to that story later, but I just found it interesting that my eyes were locked on that right guard battle and what they were doing and how each guy looked. I also made a note, and I know I've said his name on here before. Right tackle, he was an undrafted free agent rookie signing, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Alex Taylor. I still think Alex Taylor is another year away. He'll probably be practice squad, brought up at some point after injury. And I don't know what Conklin's contract looks like, but I'm telling you, he's got the build, he's got the athleticism. If he can learn and learn and learn and learn, and hopefully learn under Bill Callahan, man, he could step into that right tackle spot when Conklin's contract runs up and really perform. And I love what we're doing with the O-line.
And we even have other people there like Dunn, Blake Hans.
right?
Who
Who was a signing, right? DPJ was my final list. He made one play after another in camp. He had the most marks of mine that I saw as far as explosive plays. I really look for him to take a jump this year. If there isn't a, if there is not a, a Higgins signing, he's gonna have to step into the role and move right into that 3, if not 2 or 3, depending upon who's healthy.
Yeah.
But defense, I had Taki, which we both had. I had
Yeah.
Sendejo, who looked good in practice. I also had Carl Joseph. I thought Carl Joseph looked like a leader. He looked like a guy who was willing to step in and lead and made plays all over the place. Jacob Phillips got the most marks from me. He was all over the place in camp. Jordan Elliott, and then again,
especially after
Eli Anku, who now with the Cowboys. So, but I can't wait. We're gonna have to take a look. If they're gonna allow fans, we might have to go up to training camp this summer.
Just might.
We might just have to go check that out. You never can tell, kid.
I hope we can.
And so we'll get our notebooks out and we'll start 2021 and we'll start looking at who looks good in camp, who's doing what in camp. Maybe we'll get a little bit more detailed now that we're doing a podcast and we need to come up with some reports, right?
Yeah. And then oh, they'll think we're reporters. We have to
we have our notebooks.
We have to wear sunglasses and get some fake mustaches out there. Get our suits.
We'll find Corey Kinnan. We'll hang out with him, look like we know what we're doing, and then we'll just steal all his
we have to stand around tape. Like this.
No emotion whatsoever. You can't show any emotion when you're watching somebody and critiquing them. Have you ever seen the combine?
No.
Like all of these coaches and GMs and stuff are always sitting around and they're always looking down at the field like it's like stoic. Like,
yeah. Like,
I'm really thinking about this right now.
Like, oh, the Ohio State coach, and then he's like, "Hey, mark this down."
Yeah, write this down. All right, so that just kind of covers our going back and looking back at our training camp review from last year. I thought that was pretty interesting to go back and look at who we were talking about, and then who made plays throughout the season. I just thought that was pretty neat. And so it's time to wrap this show up with our closing segment. It's got to be one of my favorite segments so far that we've started doing. We just started this last episode, and that is Tweets of the Week. Tweets of the Week. Start at the top. You want to start at the top?
Yeah. Number 1. Greedy Williams tweeted out, #return of Greedy is official.
At Greedy, #return of Greedy is official.
I can't wait to see him next year. I mean, of course he did great in his rookie year.
He did well. Yeah. I mean, he was okay for a rookie. It was good.
I liked him.
And I know this one hit a lot of you. There is a lot to do. There's so much depth to this. It was all over Instagram. It was all over Twitter.
All over everywhere.
I'm Facebook. Pretty sure every animal lover got mad, but at Browns by Brad, #Browns right guard Wyatt Teller carrying an alligator on his back. This first, the video came out where he's carrying it and walking with, it had to be a 200-pound plus alligator, basically just carrying it across his shoulders like a child. And it was an incredible sight. I noted that he had Crocs on, so it was a guy wearing Crocs carrying a Croc.
An alligator.
Horrible pun. But it was an alligator, so that really didn't work. One of the responses to at Browns by Brad was at Highlander, HYLANDR 91. Alligator must have said, "The Browns is the Browns." That's gotta be my favorite.
Dude, like
somebody should have like photoshopped Corvette on the side of the alligator. Oh, that would have been perfect. Another response at Mitch Holster. He's just trying to get Chubb's hand back. Any of you that are Happy Gilmore fans know what he means by trying to get Chubb's hand back. Not Nick Chubb, but Chubb's the golfer.
Yeah. I love that movie. And it ends up getting the best of him.
Yes.
But you know what? Wyatt Teller's there to save the day.
So the greatest tweet of the week, and this will go down in a legendary status because so much happened with this tweet. If this does not tell you that you have a superstar quarterback, I don't know what does, because there was so much traction about this. I heard about this on Good Morning Football. I'm a Good Morning Football listener or watcher, NFL Network, 7 a.m., usually 7 to 8 before I've got to move and go somewhere. But between 7 and 8 every morning, I'm a Good Morning Football guy. And so even they talked about this. You want to read the first? You start with Baker.
Let's go back and forth here on everything.
Sure.
So Baker Mayfield starts this whole thing off. Almost 100%. Em and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky toward Lake Travis. Anybody else witness this?
So our QB1,
our boy,
the Bake Show, sees a UFO drop out of the sky. I'm not here to debate whether aliens exist or not, other than hey,
I'm trusting my quarterback.
Baker and Emily believe that they saw a UFO that dropped out of the sky. So he tweeted about it, expecting some results, right? And so what happens is, I'm not giving you his @ because I don't really appreciate him and don't pay attention to him. But Colin Cowherd goes on his daily show.
Mm-hmm.
It does turn into a tweet, and basically says that Montana, Aikman, Bradshaw, Brady, none of these superstar quarterbacks have ever seen aliens. I don't want my superstar QB seeing UFOs. And literally on his show, again, he's not a Baker fan anyway. He drags Baker every chance he gets.
Baker.
And so
Baker has one bad game and he just
loses it. And so this then gets a response. Who responds to this tweet, Grady?
At Tom Brady responds, how do you know I've never seen aliens, Colin?
So he says that basically Brady has never seen an alien. And Tom Brady tweets him back and says, how do you know I've never seen an alien, Colin?
He's not wrong. Yeah, I mean,
I just absolutely love the trolling that Tom Brady's doing with Colin Cowherd. Not only that, but then our QB1 responds to Tom Brady. At Baker Mayfield replies, at your age, you've probably seen a bunch. This is probably the best entertainment I had all week long because this back and forth was pretty incredible.
I tried to just ignore it, but it just kept popping up. Like I kept getting notifications. Oh, Baker Mayfield sees an alien. I'm like, oh my gosh, just let it stop.
Just stop already. It was pretty impressive. But then there were so many replies. Probably one of our favorites.
That angry Browns fan, he tweeted out and said, I swear if the NFL season gets canceled due to an alien invasion. ...
I swear if the NFL season gets canceled due to an alien invasion. In response and in reply to Baker's tweet about seeing the UFO.
Mm-hmm.
Now, history at Angry Browns fans. is one of our favorites. We follow him not just on Twitter, but on Instagram. Great, hilarious content on Instagram. He's the guy that cracks a raw egg into a beer every Sunday or game day and chugs it for good luck. Usually wearing his Joe Thomas jersey. And so we started following him and absolutely loving him. Check out the Dogs of War podcast. They do a great job over there as far as fan quality, just being great fans and talking about the Browns. And he had somebody reply to his tweet. Again, his tweet was, "I swear, if the NFL season gets canceled due to an alien invasion," and all caps, because he's yelling at us, Fantasy Messiah at Fantasy Messiah _ said, "Swear it said due to Allen Iverson at first."
You know, I honestly thought it said Iverson too. Allen. I kind of thought it did. I was like, Allen, alien invasion. And then I saw somebody comment Allen Iverson. I'm like, that's what I did.
That's what I did. So Baker sees a UFO. Colin Cowherd freaks out like it's a newsworthy story. He hits up Tom Brady, and Tom Brady responds. Baker then responds. Fans are responding. "I swear if the NFL season gets canceled due to an alien invasion," which someone else turns into, "I swear if the NFL season gets canceled due to an Allen Iverson." Somehow we went straight up NBA, and you got the answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a board out, and we're going to go. We're going to put one of those investigative boards up with the strings.
We need to see what's
Just see
going
a little
on
picture
here.
of Allen Iverson in the corner. UFO.
He is the one and only.
That's too good. That made my week right there. I'm telling you. And even recounting the story right now is almost bringing me to tears.
I just hate this story with a passion. It's just so dumb. And the fact that everybody is reacting to it, positive, negative, and acting like Baker's a worse quarterback since he said this.
Yes, he's gonna get worse because he said the UFO thing.
Yeah, dude, he saw a UFO. He's gonna get so bad.
Oh, that's trash. That is so trash.
Can I take the last one here?
You can take the last one.
On Instagram, found that NFL released its 100 greatest catches of the 2020 season. Several Browns players, probably mostly Odell.
Odell's catch against the Colts where he fell on the ground and somehow with his head being ripped off by a guy corralled that ball. I think that would made it like number 11, I think.
12 or
11, something like that. DPJ's catch against the Bengals was on there. There was a couple on there. But what was the important one that we saw?
Oh, baby. It's real. Porter Gustin and his diving INT after swatting the ball off of Big Ben in the wild card game made it to number 59.
Number 59 out of the 100 greatest catches of the season.
He almost got to half of the greatest catches.
And yet did not make clevelandbrowns.com, their YouTube channels, top defensive plays of the year.
I hate that. That's terrible.
We talked about that last episode. That it was a crime.
It's a crime.
It's a big man diving across the field.
It is a hate crime.
Intercepting Big Ben in an already horrible game.
Who is their admin?
I don't know.
We need to find out.
We have to ask the Gibbs boys. Maybe we can get Nathan Zagura on the show or something. We can say, hey,
talk to him about it.
We need to do something about this.
Y'all need to edit that or something.
This Porter Gustin hating that's going on in Berea right now.
Just because he's a backup, don't mean you need to get love. Okay, he's gonna be a starter. I'm telling you, he's gonna be a starter for somebody team by 2025.
Right? Yeah.
He's gonna be a starter.
It's true.
I'm calling it.
Another tweet that we did not include that you wanted to include.
Me?
Yeah. Mary Kay Cabot.
Mary Kay Cabot, my boy Pete Smith. This is directed to you and you.
To me?
Yeah, you.
Hey, I'm just spouting facts, man.
Mary Kay Cabot.
Hypothetical.
Mary Kay Cabot tweeted out, Kevin Stefanski says that both Odell and Jarvis Landry can both stay on our offense, even though they're high salaries.
It's true. Kevin Stefanski did say that.
I'm walking out.
It doesn't mean it's going to happen. But he did say that.
I said that they should stay. I said that they should stay. And
I'm not saying they shouldn't stay. What I'm saying is he has value now.
See?
Trade one of them for value now, because another year is more wear and tear on the body. They may not respond next year as well as you think, and then you're stuck holding the $15 million bag of nothing. I'm just saying. I love both of them. I think they can be great. I think you draft a guy, which I've heard that we've already had virtual meetings with Anthony Schwartz of Auburn, who is a speed guy. The dude ran a 4.25 40 straight up. Like,
really?
Dude can fly. And if you can add a speed guy like that to the group that you've already got, whoa. It's time to take that offense to the next level. And that starts, you start playing deeper than 20 yards and teams are going to back up, and that opens up the run game. It opens up the underneath routes for tight ends. It opens the intermediate routes for Jarvis and Odell. And now you've got a deep threat. So,
but I think Odell is a deep threat sometimes.
I think he can be.
Like against the Cowboys and the Bengals, the first touchdown.
The first Bengals,
yeah. The touchdown against the Bengals, like it was
schematically,
like a 50-yard bomb.
Schematically, he can be, but for some reason, early on in the season last year, they were putting him in these intermediate routes again. And I've seen this before. It seemed like Jarvis and the tight ends were always running like similar routes, like they were in the same places and running the same type of route trees. And I'm like, that's weird. Why wouldn't you want them running receiver routes, not your tight end routes, especially when you got two tight ends on the field? But anyway, I digress. We can talk about that all day.
Doesn't matter. It worked.
It did work. It led to the playoffs and a playoff win. So, hey, we'll see where this year goes. What happens next? You hear this from us all the time. March 9th is the franchise tag deadline. Haven't seen a lot of people using the franchise tag this year. You may not. With the cap dropping, they may just let guys go. I think you're going to see a lot of surprise releases over this next week. Keep your eyes open. I'm just saying Browns could be one of them. One of the names that was mentioned, and man, I really would hate to see this happen, but was Sheldon Richardson. Yeah, he might get released. Money.
Really?
It would shock me if that happened, and it was.
But if it was brought up, then why would Larry leave?
Well, you'd have to sign Larry, but you're not going to sign. You're not going to pay Larry as much as you're paying Sheldon Richardson right now. That's what that's saying.
But
so you're basically doing it for money. But it would be the person that said it. It would shock them. It would be a big shock if that happened. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anybody else.
We totally
that would
forgot.
Be a big shock.
JJ Watt signs with the Cardinals.
Did we forget, or was it purposefully just muted?
Well, that could be another reason. I kind of hated all the KJ Watt and people saying, "Oh, look at JJ Watt. He said Buffalo, Cleveland, and Green
on his
Bay."
Peloton account." It wasn't even JJ Watt. It was KJ Watt.
KJ Watt.
Anyway,
everybody fell for it, but he ended up going with the Cardinals to shut everybody up.
Here's what I have a problem with in this whole thing. Number one, I was never overly excited that JJ might come. If he would have, great, super, love it. Put him across miles, that's great. Do I think it would have been worth the money? Probably not. What I am starting to despise is the oversaturated reporting that is happening because of Twitter, because of people like us, even though we're not out here stating facts or trying to act like we're stating facts. We're usually regurgitating writers and people.
That's the problem with COVID.
Well, I guess. But there was, and I believe where it came from first, I'm not going to say because I don't remember where it came from first, but the person that said JJ Watt's number one priority is winning a Super Bowl. After that, it is quarterback,
Money.
and something else, and then money. Quarterback, team, makeup, and money.
Oh yeah, surrounding cast.
And so basically what he just said by signing with that is you're an idiot, whoever wrote that.
Yeah,
because
everybody
number
fell for
one,
it.
I think Kyler Murray is a good talent, but he is yet another running quarterback who can sling it every once in a while. I hate the fact that the Hail Mary got play of the year when it's an absolute crapshoot, throw it up for grabs kind of play. It takes no skill to pull that play off other than him running to the sideline to get away from people. It just drives me crazy that that's like, oh, that's the play of the year. Literally, you did nothing but throw the ball as far as you could, which
Baker Mayfield could throw farther.
Yeah, Baker could have done that too. But anybody, you could have done that.
Nuh-uh.
Anyway,
about as tall as
but
him too.
he's not. They didn't make the playoffs. They don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. And
They won't make
you
the
literally
playoffs.
had two edge rushers already that were pretty awesome. You had Chandler Jones and you had Hassan Reddick,
Yeah.
who were complete sack machines. Now, what that says, Hassan Reddick, you're not as good as JJ Watt, and we'd rather have JJ Watt. Here, we're going to throw a giant bag of money at you, even though we're probably not going to go to the playoffs now because we can't pay any of these other free agents that we could have brought in and actually helped our defense.
Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, are you going to be able to sign him now? With what money? I mean, are some of these teams printing their own money at this point? I mean, who's taking the pay cut? I mean, Big Ben restructured his deal.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
that whole team is just stacked.
Let's see DeAndre Hopkins now restructure his deal so that they can get better.
He's not going to restructure.
I don't see that happen.
He's going to leave immediately.
I don't know how we got on this topic, but I appreciate you for saying this because this stirred up more for me. But yeah, so basically whoever spouted this as fact was basically just kind of making it up. Like, I think he really wants to win a Super Bowl. So let me put this out here. Here's JJ's top priorities. You're not winning a Super Bowl with that squad, dude. You needed to sign like a 5-year deal because I don't see it in the near future. And to think that you didn't sign with the Packers, who were close. You didn't sign with the Browns, who were probably the next closest, or the Bills, who were the next closest. You had 3 teams right there that, I mean, if you really wanted to win a Super Bowl, you could have chose.
Yeah, those 3 teams are like
that money wouldn't have been as good. Obviously, we found that out later. Because everybody was saying, "Oh, he turned down more money." The Browns and the Bills offered him more money, and they were like, "No, we didn't."
We didn't. But look, quarterback was clearly not his priority.
No, quarterback was not a priority on the list.
If you put Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers,
winning a Super Bowl,
and Kyler Murray, no, just take that out of the equation. The list is Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he's not at the top of that list. He's at the bottom of that list.
People might say, "Oh, Baker's worse than Kyler," but no. Still, third. He's still in third then, out of 4 quarterbacks. Like that's still not the best.
No,
not great.
I don't think so.
Deshaun Watson is better than Kyler Murray.
I would agree with that statement. Absolutely.
So, what's going on? Big Ben is not better than Kyler Murray. No, he's garbage.
Used to be, not now. Not current Ben.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow's better than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Super Bowl Ben is better than Kyler Murray.
Super Bowl Ben's better than a lot of guys.
Yeah. Tom Brady's better than.
I don't
Kyler
think Tua's better.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Fitzmagic's better, definitely.
Fitzmagic is probably. I would take him over that.
Yeah, which he might not.
I would take Lamar. I would take Russ.
I wouldn't take Jameis.
I would take Drew Lock.
Really?
Over Kyler. in the right system and with the right coaches, oh yeah, Drew Lock, he's got the tools, man. I think he does. I think he's in.
Yeah, he needs
Drew
an
Lock, and I've
offensive line.
said this on here before. Drew Lock is stuck where Baker was before Stefanski showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's going to have flashes of brilliance, and he doesn't have an O-line, and nobody really knows what they're doing, so he's going to get hurt, and you're going to get what you get. Skill-wise, talent-wise, I think he's every bit of Baker Mayfield for the first 2 seasons.
Kyler Murray.
I don't know that I want to go that far.
Yes.
Garrett Gilbert.
Have you seen Kyler Murray almost win against the Steelers?
Almost win against the Steelers. No, I have not. You're right. That's true.
That's what I thought.
It's true.
He's 10 times better. I'm surprised.
Matthew Stafford's better.
Yeah, definitely.
Jared
Goff's better.
Who just moved into your division. Jared Goff's obviously better because he beat them.
Who else?
Drew Brees.
He's better.
Jameis Winston. If he can get his decision making down and stop throwing picks. I mean, Jameis threw for the most yards with the Buccaneers. Unfortunately, he threw the most interceptions that year too.
Yeah, he went 30-30. Like he had like 32 interceptions and like 34 touchdowns.
I mean, he's got the tools. You just got to teach him how to play quarterback and make good decisions.
But let's think of Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is obviously. I mean, I was trying to stay away from the obvious: Aaron Rodgers, Russ, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. MVP Cam, not current Cam, would probably be better.
I think
Cam might be better now if he can get his shoulder thing worked out and throw the football. Get his confidence back.
Yeah, get his Cam back.
Would you take Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
I'd take Sam Darnold.
I'd take Sam Darnold.
I really would.
Yeah.
Have those two switch.
He bullied Malcolm Smith.
Yeah. Let's not relive Malcolm Smith getting trucked by Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold on last year's Cardinals team, and you got a whole different storyline.
I think they might have even made the playoffs.
I think they could have.
Now, would they gone to the Super Bowl? No,
probably not. But that was a tough division last year.
But I think they might have.
Saints were good. Packers were good. Rams were pretty good.
Yeah.
Tampa. Tampa was solid.
They won the Super Bowl.
Solid. We'll see what happens.
Seahawks were okay.
But yeah, I don't know. We went on a tangent here.
I know who's a better quarterback than Kyler Murray.
Who is a better quarterback?
Jarvis Landry.
And you're not wrong. That's the funniest part. I bet he's got a better QBR rating. That's something to look up. That's on your homework list before next episode. Jarvis's QBR rating in 2020 versus Kyler Murray.
Kendall Lamb's better than DeAndre Hopkins.
I don't know.
Clearly.
I don't know. I want to go that far.
Hey,
we're getting outrageous here now.
He's 100%.
That's true. He's one for one with a touchdown. So
hey, all I'm saying is
Kendall Lamb.
Baker Mayfield's a better receiver than.
And he didn't have to Hail Mary it. It was designed, and he caught it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a matter of luck and skill. Luck and skill? Yeah, it was just straight up skill. Yeah, we totally went off on a tangent there, and that might be the best segment that we've done in a long time.
I don't know how we went from J.J. Watt saying to the Cardinals to Baker Mayfield being a better receiver than DeAndre Hopkins.
I don't know either.
We had a whole rant on who is better.
That's a rabbit
quarterback
hole
than Kyler Murray.
That's a rabbit hole we don't need to go down.
I'm lucky you didn't hear what I said about Kyler Murray and me, but you'll hear it later.
Kyler Murray and you? Was I talking the same time you were talking?
Yeah.
Well, what did you say? Let's bring it back up.
No.
I just got to go find it later.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. We got there because we talked about the March 9th franchise tag deadline, and I said a lot of guys are going to change. March 15th is legal tampering opens. You're allowed to talk to guys. March 17th, the NFL new league year begins. Free agency starts at 4 p.m. All these guys that you are hearing about getting signed will finally be able to sign. April 5th starts the offseason workouts for teams with new head coaches. Not us this year. April 19th, start of off-season workouts for teams with the same head coach.
That's
April
us.
23rd is the last day of restricted free agent signing period. April 28th, last day for NFL teams to match offers for their restricted free agents. April 29th through May 1st, the 2021 NFL Draft in Cleveland, Ohio. It's probably going to be virtual again, but hey, we'll give that what it's due. Shout outs.
Nothing.
I have one because we have a Facebook page and I really wasn't following it or checking it, but our very own and very good friend Steve Rose has been sharing the links to our podcast and to our Facebook page. We love you, brother. Stay strong as a good Browns fan. I have to say, and maybe this is a segment that we need to break down completely, but during the time that the Browns were not a franchise and moved to Baltimore, I was not a Browns fan. I left Browns fandom completely altogether. I stuck every team except the Bengals, Steelers, and Ravens in a hat, and I pulled out the New York Jets.
Yep, you told me
So
about
for that
this.
duration, I was a New York Jets fan. I was pretty familiar with Vinny Testaverde, who ended up going to the AFC Championship game in Denver and losing, if that wasn't salt in the wound. And so I when they came back, I was like, they're just not my Browns. I don't know if I can leave the Jets. I have this strong tie to the Jets now. Total Jets fan. Curtis Martin, was sitting it up. I was looking good. Went going to the AFC Championship game again. Like, I want to go back to zero. I don't want to go back to these guys that aren't the Browns. And he took me, my buddy Steve Rose, took me to my first ever game, which is, I forget what it was called now, First Energy Stadium now. My first ever game there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We did not win that game. However, as we left the stadium that day, knowing that there was a guy wearing his Pittsburgh Steelers gear getting beat the tar out of on the concourse, just turned me around. It made me realize what I missed in my life. And that
So you're telling me that poor Pittsburgh Steelers fan literally getting abused and bullied and
brought me back to Browns fandom. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
that's my dad, man.
That and on the way home, we stopped and the McRib was back. Grabbed a McRib, hit the turnpike. Within, I don't know, I would say 15 minutes, we had to pull over because the McRib came back. So that's always a good story. But
So you're telling me the McRib
is
made
not
this
make great for me. But
that was the most terrible pun. Or should I say McPun?
All right. Yes, the McRib could likely be the result. Could be the key to what started this podcast many years ago.
It's not Allen Iverson. It's the McRib.
It's the McRib. Ah, the McRib. Anyway, make sure that you get out and give us a review. Recommend us to your friends. Let everybody know that you're having a good time watching these two idiots talk about Browns football.
And McRibs.
And McRibs and UFOs and funny tweets. I'm hoping at some point we're going to start being able to do things fun. I'm hoping off season, after we get past the draft, I'd like to start doing maybe a spotlight fan of the week. Maybe we can have Angry Browns fan come on. My buddy Steve Rose, maybe we'll have him on before we get into having actual real intelligent writers and people come on. I've talked about trying to get Nathan Zagura to come on. Pete Smith to come on. We'll find somebody that we can bring on with us at some point, probably when we get more close to the season. But you name it, we're working on it. Help us get better. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you want to see. And we'll try to make that happen for you. Got anything else?
No. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching episode 10 of the New Breed Podcast.
Double digits.
Double digits. Barking.
Still barking.
All bark.
Ho, ho!